Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Podcast, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Paul Sweeney and Tom Keene here. Now looking at the stock movers right now, stocks on the move. With us, Lisa Mateo. Lisa, what do you have for your podcast?
All right, we're going to kick it off with FedEx. That's ticker FDX. Its shares have been down as much as 6% before the bell. Warned that its profit will be worse than expected this quarter. What really stood out is that FedEx typically provides a full year forecast, but it did not offer guidance for the rest of the year. They pointed to what they called uncertain global demand for the environment, a sign really the impact of the trade war on the company. It said it expects a $170 million hit this quarter from a change in tariff rules.
Right.
What happened is it cut demand from packages shipped to the U.S. from China, and that was a big part of it.
And Paul, I think this is so important. Fred Smith, with the passing of Mr. Smith, who invented this, no other way to put it, it's just about competition. They were alone for decades.
Yeah, and it's obviously, as you mentioned, Tom, a very competitive business, but it's such a high fixed cost business that when demand just ebbs just a little bit, what do? You got the planes, you got the trucks. I mean, it's kind of like that load factor, how many packages you can get in there. So that's a tough business right there when times are slowing.
Yeah, and then you have the competition from Amazon too on top of it. They ended the contract with the post office.
You asked about FedEx trucks, Tom. There's way more Amazon trucks, I think, than like FedEx or even UPS.
Yes.
It's just that Amazon trucks are everywhere.
Next.
Yeah, transportation, wage expenses, all of that. Okay, I want to go to Blackberry, ticker BB. Their shares up 11% before the open. They're not talking about the phone with the keypad, that we used to do with our little thumbs and do that. No. This is rather the work as a security software company. So they boosted its revenue forecast for the full year, swung to a profit the first quarter, better than expected revenue. If you want the specifics, they now expect revenue $508 million to $538 million. That's for fiscal 2026. And that's up from its prior guidance. Higher sales guidance also comes, the company swung to a profit of $1.9 million in its fiscal first quarter.
So it's a tiny company.
$1.9 million.
It's Team Sweens.
Yeah, relative. Yeah, exactly.
They have 1,800 employees.
The fact that they survived as a company, that's pretty amazing. Actually, they were able to pivot away from what they were, a phone.
You and I have moved on to technology.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You still have a Blackberry in a drawer somewhere, don't you?
Somewhere. But it's interesting you say that because you think of like a Motorola, right? The same thing when you had the flip phone, but now they're big on like security stuff too, like security
You never
cameras.
enjoyed wearing a pager on your belt.
I did have the pager.
Yes,
I did. That was the college thing.
Cool.
Pager and the quarters, so you can go to the payphone and put the money in and call somebody. I know.
Nobody listening knows what a payphone is. Next.
Sorry. I got to go here, Tom. Sorry. Cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase Global, ticker COIN. Their shares are up nearly 5%, but it closed about 12% yesterday, the best stock in the S&P 500 in the session. So a few things. You had the Senate passing that bill to regulate stable coins in that Genius Act. And then you have analysts at Benchmark Capital. They raised their price target on the stock. They said stable coins are this major segment of the company's business. If we look at Bitcoin, they're up about 1%, just above 107,000. So I have to also point that out too.
Can I say thank you, Gary Gensler, yesterday?
Yeah, that was great.
It was really informative. And I think of Ken Rogoff's book, my book of the summer, and the Bank of International Settlements report, which everybody in the industry is talking about the last 3 days. They were scathing.
Yep.
I mean, they did not. Raphael Howard and the team, they didn't mince words. My head's spinning. I just asked Katie Greifeld, what's it all mean?
Right,
exactly. Well, speaking of head spinning, this next one, I think I'm going in over my head on this one, but we're going to go there. Quantumscape. That is ticker QS. The reason why I'm pointing it out is because their shares are up like 37%. So it's an EV battery maker. It announces breakthrough. It's a process for making solid state batteries. So they're saying this is a breakthrough. This is big. They're integrating this advanced Cobra separator process into baseline cell production.
Oh, you nailed that.
I'm telling you.
The Stock Movers Podcast from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.